Hello and welcome. I'm actually really excited today to make this video. I've been thinking about it for a very long time and really wanted to help other people who may be going through the same back issues. So about 10 years ago, I had tons of different jobs, construction type jobs, IT jobs, all these different kinds of jobs. But the construction jobs were the ones that I did the most consistently. And I ended up through repetition and things like doing flooring and demo and all this stuff, actually ended up hurting my back and didn't at first realize that that's what I did. I was in my late 20s, mid 20s, and just thought I was a tough guy and, mostly focused on pushing through it, you can do it. And, just got to a point where I really worked myself into a pretty bad issue. Through an MRI later, found out it was a bulged disc in my L4. So throughout the 10 years that I've had this problem, I went to multiple different kinds of doctors and spine specialists and physical therapists and dry needling and acupuncture and chiropractors for a year at a time. And everything that gave me to do at home actually really ended up hurting me more. I couldn't do the basic, exercises that they gave me to try to strengthen what they thought was a misalignment in my pelvis or what they thought was, some sort of other back issue. Everyone was very clear that they didn't think it was a disc issue. And everyone said, oh, the disc won't cause pain and this thing won't happen. If you do MRIs to everyone in the whole world, 80% of everyone's going to have a bulge disc. And, started to just get very frustrated and, stopped doing all the things I loved, like building and painting and rock climbing and all this stuff, hiking, running, and kind of got to this point where I was just very, very frustrated, very depressed. And I was actually sitting on the couch one day and looking up YouTube videos. I love YouTube, and was looking up a video about different back operations because I was so depressed and so worn down. Nothing was working. Couldn't, put on my socks in the morning. Getting dressed was a challenge. Everything I did was constant pain, whether it was sitting or standing, even sleeping. I'd wake up every morning in pain and just couldn't get over it. And after tens of thousands of dollars of medical bills and 10 years of my life, I had enough. Because I was going to do different types of nerve operations, numbing nerves, killing nerves, different kinds of operations to, go and do an incision and create room for the compression of the nerve, whatever. Stumbled across this video. And it was all about what's called the McKenzie technique. And so I'm not a McKenzie sponsor. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's just the only thing in the decade that I've been struggling with this that's helped me. And it barely cost me any money, which is the most amazing thing. So I'm watching this video, watching this physical therapist talking about this stuff, basically talking about me, talking about everything I went through, all the different physical therapists and doctors telling me to bend forward and do these exercises that, brought my knees. So everything was this forward kind of, rehab. And that's what I had the biggest problem with, was bending forward. So picking stuff up on the floor, putting on my socks, all that kind of stuff, getting out of bed, hunching forward. I couldn't do any. This whole McKenzie technique and this whole physical therapist was all about the opposite. So it basically was about bending backwards and it's like a yoga pose. And it's this most amazing, simplest thing in the whole world. And the McKenzie technique's point is that if you have pain kind of traveling away from the spine, if you have pain that's traveling down, that if you do these back techniques and very simple, if you can move that pain from whether it's either going all the way down your leg, which mine luckily wasn't, but if you can move it up into your spine and then from your spine out and be pain-free, then you're moving in the right direction. Now, if you do these backward poses, and I'll dub in some things to kind of show you what it is and go from there. But if you do these exercises and you have pain, then maybe this isn't going to work for you. But if you do these exercises and you have less pain and you start to notice the pain moving away from like a lower region into your back and then from your back to being gone, then you're on the right path. What I basically did was do this exercise, and pretty much immediately I started to see a difference in pain. I was like, holy cow, I think this actually might work for me. And the whole principle is that if you have a disc issue, which everyone told me I didn't, but that's what I have. I have a bulge disc that is basically creating pain and causing issues. And if you can push the bulge back, so every time you bend forward, I'm pushing the bulge towards my nerves, and I'm pushing the fluid in the inner disc itself towards the outer disc and causing other irritation. So the more I bend backwards, the more I'm pushing the bulge back in, and the more I'm bringing the pain back to the spine and then eventually get out of my spine. This exercise, you will either notice a difference or you won't. And so once I started doing the exercise, I noticed a difference, and I started listening to what they recommended, which was basically doing this very quick, very simple 30-second to 1-minute thing, basically 2 times an hour, every waking hour that you can. And you basically end up doing, sets of 10 or 20. So you're doing about 20 to 40 an hour that you're awake. It sounds like a lot in the beginning, but it's actually a short amount of time, and it's really easy. And once you have less pain, you're just gonna do it. And now once you start doing that stuff, then you really gotta start focusing on your posture and focusing on lumbar support and thinking of things like your chair at work, your chair at home, the car seat in the car, and stuff even further like sleeping, because I realized that every morning I was waking up in pain. So I bought a couple things, basically 3 or 4 items. I bought a book, I bought this McKenzie, what they call a night roll, which is what you sleep with, and I wake up every day now with no pain. It's the most amazing thing. I also bought these lumbar supports for your chair. I bought one for the car, one for my office at work in my chair, and then one for the chair I mostly sit in at home. And it's just fantastic. And I'm gonna link links to those items. They're very cheap, and it's been the only thing in 10 years that has helped me, and that's why I was so excited to make this YouTube video for it, to kind of show you guys it. So one of the first things is, this is what it looks like for your office chair. This actually is for your back. It goes right behind here, you wrap it around your chair. This is what it looks like, the thing that you sleep with. It just ties around like this. When you sleep on your side, it supports your spine as well, so I wake up with no back pain. I'll also link in the bottom a link to McKenzie certified physical therapist. There's a very specific physical therapist that specializes in this technique. So if this technique works for you, you can go check out that website and see if there's any McKenzie certified physical therapists in your area. But I actually went to one for a very short amount of time just to make sure I was doing it the right way. So doing these back exercises actually allows your disc to heal. It's recommended that in the beginning that you try to limit other activities that you're doing, whether you're running or lifting weights or all sorts of activities like that. At least for the first week, give it a chance. 7 to 10 days is a good healing period. Maybe up to 14 days if you're actually having a real challenge. But if you can just devote your time, I know it's really hard in the beginning. It was actually really hard for me the first day or two, but once I committed to it, I just did these McKenzie exercises around the clock for the first week to week and a half, and started to notice such a difference that I kept doing it a little longer just to make sure. And then I slowly started to introduce weight training, things for your core, things for posture. So I'm not a certified physical therapist or a licensed medical physician or anything like that. So please speak with your doctor or your healthcare professional before trying any of this stuff. And I hope that it really ends up helping anyone who has an issue out there who has been struggling like I have, because I really was at a point of no return and I lost all hope. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. If you guys find that this works for you, please comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you all.